Hello, everybody on YouTube. It's me again, and welcome to another live discussion video. So, yes, depression, the one thing that we all cannot stand for. A lot of a lot of it could actually hurt us, and the thing and about it and how we go about it can sometimes be with bad habits, especially when it comes to it. And yes, sometimes we sugarcoat and say that we're doing okay, even though we're not. But in some long terms, we also try our best to resolve the situation by by coping with it. So here are here are five ways to cope with depression and how you can benefit from it. Number one, like remove anything that is painful and would hurt you. You ever wonder why how you feel depression? Well, I don't like to say this out of the ordinary. Suicidal is the ideation that could actually connect with depression, even though it could trigger it. When you're feeling depressed and somebody triggers you and that notion, it would get you that painful trigger to cause yourself to go through a suicidal phase, let alone causing self harm or worse, allowing yourself to overdose on something that you don't want. So, in order for you to not to feel this kind of hurtful way to do this, you have to put these anything that is dangerous away, causing yourself to go that situation. And yes, to cope with this, you got to keep away from anything that's sharp and dangerous. Don't go through there. Suicidal can be caused by some depression at some degree. Yes. And don't and try to, find something to keep yourself away from these things and never think of it again. And number two, reach out to people who care about you. Yes, the best way to cope with depression is to reach out to people who love you and care about you. It could be either a parent, grandparent, aunt, uncle, cousin, sibling, or friend that you actually know, or especially the love of your life. So yeah, and how can this actually happen and go about? So yes, a lot of parents go through some depression in their lives, and especially with grandparents, even when it is not all their fault, but the things that they have done in their lives. Sure, they try their best to resort to bad habits, but that is not something you clearly would want. In order for you to maintain such situation, you got to try to reach out to people who care about you and love about you. Even if it could be your wife, your child, anybody that could help you cope with depression. Try to talk to somebody. Let them know how you feel. Don't bottle it up. The more you bottle it up, the harder it's going to be for you to, you know, synchronize with the problems. Or better yet, yeah, or go out with or actually talk to a therapist. Like call somebody, with a therapist or something like that. Number three, remove anything that reminds you of remove anything that reminds you of that painful past. Yeah, a lot of people with depression who struggle who struggle to try to forget about their past lives. Usually it could be a memento of their past relationship or or a memento of the person they loved that had passed away. Yes, a lot of people who have such painful depression from such thing copes with it, and they literally it's like a reminder that they lost somebody they loved, or it would go through a major breakup and then they sugarcoat it and say that they're fine, but in all reality, behind closed doors, they're not. So yes, just get rid of the memento of what that relationship would have been like if it was a good way, but it turned bad for you. So yes, it's not so bad to lose hope of something that you care for. Yeah, looking back on it, nothing. Looking back on it, even if your past relationship was good, but then it turned sour in the long run, that doesn't mean you should forget about that person. sometimes you gotta often to, remember the good part of it instead of the negative part of it. Yeah, and yeah, that's the part. You can just move on from that. Number 4, think hobbies. The best way to cope with depression can also help you by doing hobbies. So, yeah, list down anything that you would actually want to do with your hobbies in life, like journaling or playing video games or making another YouTube video or write out on a song or something that'll help you keep you well and keep you from, hurting hurting yourself or, coping with it. That's the best mechanism. Mostly people will go for journaling or go out and have some fresh air, try to keep yourself well, out of trouble. That's the best way you can go from it. And the best part from it is, just try to find something that'll keep you from having these painful memories of, yeah, just from your depression from going hard. Number 5, and this is probably going to be the best one. Re Try to remember the good things you of your family members or your loved ones. You ever struggle with depression and coping with it and trying your best never to, let's say, hurt yourself from that. Yes, memories of the good things you did in your family was good to them. Sure, sometimes there's toxic ones that, don't like the way you think and how you're supposed to deal with it. First of all, if you're dealing with depression at a high rate, sometimes it is for the better you actually reach out to somebody who really cares about you and cherishes you with their lives. Either be your brother or something like that, because here's the thing, you can't just allow yourself to cope with something so negative and you forget about it, because here's the thing, you can't let yourself get down in the dumps. So with that truth being told, you got to let it go. So whatever you're going through, let your depression, like, let out your express yourself. Let your feelings get out. You know what I'm saying? Don't let it go to waste. Like, don't bottle it up too much. See, I understand. I know how all of you feel when it comes to depression. So in order to cope with it, you got to let it go. Sometimes isolating yourself would be a bad way to do so, because if you don't find a way to undo this coping mechanism, you got to learn to let it go. If you keep bottling it one way or another, you're going to grow resentment. You're going to have venge. You're going to be hurting yourself, not only on the outside, but the inside. That's going to hurt you even further. If you don't, you got to open up. See, I understand people who are mostly introverted will also lose sight of what's to come to them. So yeah, these are the top 5 ways to cope with depression and how you can overcome them. Now, this is an educational video, not a not to promote suicide or promote depression. Try to reach out to people who you care for. So, have you ever done any of these? Let me know in the comments description below and download. And also check out these YouTube channels called Psych2Go and others. So yeah, give this video a comment and like if you wanted me to share some more educational videos like this. So tune in next time, okay? Thank you for watching.